Hola, necesitas sacar tu paquete de gramática porque vas a tomar apuntes. You'll recall that earlier we learned about the preterite tense, and specifically about the AR preterite endings. Remember that the preterite tense in Spanish tells what happened at a particular moment in the past. Today we are going to be focusing on the preterite conjugations of ir, ser, hacer, dar, and ver. Unfortunately, all of these verbs are irregular in the preterite tense. We have irregular verbs in English too, though. Remember in English that verbs that are regular in the past tense end in ed. Irregular verbs, however, have a different past tense form. For instance, we don't say eated, we say ate. And we don't say swim, we say swam. I went to the reception desk. We don't say goed. So, even though it can be a little bit frustrating that we have to memorize these irregular forms in the preterite tense, we need to remind ourselves that we have the same thing going on in English. Again, the verbs ir, ser, hacer, ver, and dar are irregular in the preterite tense. That means that they are going to be formed without our regular past tense endings. Let's start off with the two verbs that I like to refer to as the twins, ir and ser. And you're going to see why I call them the twins in a second. Ir significa to go. Las conjugaciones son yo, fui, tú, fuiste, él, ella, usted, fue, nosotros, nosotras, fuimos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes, fueron. Those are my conjugaciones del verbo ir. Ahora tengo mis conjugaciones del verbo ser. Ser significa to be. Yo fui, tú fuiste, él, ella, usted fue, nosotros, nosotras fuimos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes fueron. Did you notice the similarity between ir and ser in the preterite tense? Yep, the conjugations are the exact same. The preterite forms of ir and ser are exactly the same in the preterite. You must use clues in the sentence to determine whether ir or ser is being used. We went to the amusement park. Fuimos al parque de diversiones. I know that fuimos is referring to the verb ir, which means to go, because parque de diversiones, the amusement park, is a place. It was a very fun day. Fue un día muy divertido. Divertido means fun. It's an adjective to describe day. I knew fue is referring to the verb ser, which means to be. Now, let's talk about the verb that I refer to as the loner. Es el verbo hacer. Hacer significa to do or to make. Las conjugaciones son yo hice, tú hiciste, él, ella, usted hizo, nosotros, nosotras hicimos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes hicieron. Please note that we don't want to pronounce the H when we are saying the conjugaciones del verbo hacer. So do you think you know why I might call this verb the loner? Hacer has its own preterite tense forms. The usted, él, ella form, the C of the stem becomes a Z before the O. So that's why I call it the loner, because only one form has this C to Z change. ¿Qué hizo usted ayer? What did you do yesterday? The formal you. Hice la tarea. I did the homework. Y finalmente tenemos dos verbos más. I call these last two verbs, dar and ver, the rebels. Ver significa to see. Yo vi, tú viste, él, ella, usted vio, nosotros, nosotras vimos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes vieron. También tenemos el verbo dar, significa to give. Yo di, tú diste, él, ella, usted dio, nosotros, nosotras dimos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes dieron. Why do you think I call ver and dar the rebels? I call them the rebels because they take the regular ER, IR past tense endings in the preterite, but they don't have any written accent marks. Now I know that you haven't learned the ER, IR past tense endings yet, but these are what they are, just without accents. So again, I call them the rebels because they have the exact same endings, they just don't use accents. Vimos mucha arte interesante en el museo. We saw a lot of interesting art at the museum. Mi amigo me dio un regalo. My friend gave me a gift. Since these irregular verbs are a little bit tougher and you have to memorize the forms, you might want to get some extra practice in. If you go to the online textbook, my.hrw.com, once you log in, go to page 70. Page 70 is where you can find all the information on the irregular forms of ir, ser, hacer, ver, and dar. And you can also find some opportunities at the bottom for extra practice. See right here where it says Más Práctica? I can click on A, B, or C. Also, I would definitely recommend clicking right here where it has the globe and it says Conjuguemos. That is going to be a great website that is going to correspond directly to the unit that we are in with practice. Now, when you click on the Conjuguemos globe, it might take you to a website that looks like this. You are just going to want to click on Avancemos dos, the yellow option. If you were lucky enough to arrive at this page first, which sometimes can happen too, I want you to go ahead over here and click Unit 1, Lesson 2, Cumulative. Down here I'm going to click Preterite. I only want to practice my irregular verbs, so I am going to pick dar. And then I need to hit Control to be able to pick the other ones. I'm also going to pick ear. Is hacer an option? Oh, there's hacer. We also need ser and ver. Okay, those are my 5 irregulars that we just took notes about. Over here I'm going to pick all but vosotros because I do not want to practice the vosotros forms. And over here I can choose if I'd like to be timed or not. I personally get really stressed out when I'm timed, so I'm going to click no. However, once you have these conjugations down of these 5 irregular verbs, you might want to choose to be timed just to work on your speed of conjugation. I'm going to go over here and click start. Preterite. Okay, I want to do the nosotros form of hacer in the preterite, which is going to be hicimos. Am I correct? I am. I click OK, and it gives me my next verb. Fuiste is the to form of ser in the preterite. Am I correct? Nope. Okay, this next one I'm going to do wrong on purpose, just because I want to show you what happens when it says that you're incorrect. The ellos form of dar in the preterite, I'm going to pretend that I forgot that it was irregular, and I just think, oh, it's an AR verb. It's going to be daron. Am I correct? Nope, and it tells me the correct answer right here is dieron. So it's going to tell me what the correct answer is, so next time if that verb comes up again, I'll be able to conjugate it correctly. This is a great resource, and I definitely recommend that you take advantage of it to help you study for any upcoming quizzes or tests on the irregular forms of ir, ser, hacer, ver, and dar in the preterite.